And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A push for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he cuts back at the track and he gets clobbered. Messiah picks it up into the air.
BTDY live tonight, Sailor Terra Magic 175 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 120 laps, 175 miles. We're 8 races into a 20-race season. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and alongside me tonight is Alec Martinez, race analyst, race driver, and had a great time at Pocono last week. What can you tell us about Las Vegas Speedway, Alec?
Yeah, I did. I had a great time at Pocono last week racing with these guys. But let me tell you, we're out here to the west after coming back from the Tricky Triangle at Pocono, which was a fuel mileage race. But this week, Vegas, it's cool right now. The sun's going to be setting. This race starting in the night. Starting in the sunset. Should be a nighttime race by the time we are all set and done here when the checkered flag flies. But you can see out here, desert, a 1.5 mile racetrack. One of my favorite tracks and a home track for me out in Las Vegas, Nevada. The field's very mixed up. These Xfinity cars, we know that they're going to be a little bit more on the tighter side here in iRacing, but this field's really mixed up. Last week's winner, the 3-time winner this season, David Schildhouse, who arguably we could say has been one of the best drivers this season, if not the best driver, starting deep in the field. He's starting 14th, middle of the pack. Jeff Wright, who we know will have speed here, he's starting in 5th. And setting it on pole, I believe, for his first pole this season, first pole this season is Keith Mayato in the 36. So we got a mixed up field tonight. We're going to have some great racing, a lot of big stories going to be coming out of this race. The big one is Jeff Wright leading this points. He's got 21-point advantage over Eric Hutton. Eric Hutton starting 19th, Wright starting in 5th. So a lot of different factors going into this race. And let me tell you, I'm happy to be back in the booth. I know last week we were racing out at Pocono. It was a fun time, and happy to be back in the booth here, and I think we're going to have a great race here tonight. So I hope everybody that's coming in and watching this race, hopefully you guys stick around, sit back, kick back, relax, enjoy the show, because these guys are going to put on a good one.
Well, before we take our quick commercial break, I just wanted to point out that there was a couple drivers that didn't make it here last week. I want to say that AJ Stravato, Ben Bafford weren't on the field last week. If that's accurate.
No, they both were. They just had terrible nights. Stravato struggled last week, and I'm sure he's looking to rebound. And might I point out about Stravato, he won the Cup race here last year in the next-gen cars. So Stravato definitely somebody you don't want to mess with when you come here. The Italian Stallion's always fast here. And Ben Bafford also struggled. I think he got 10th, but he also struggled. He was running up at the front. I think he hit the wall. So that is just... I know that's crazy to think about. They seem like they were non-factors last week, but I'm sure they'll definitely be up here at the front.
Well, after last week's race at Pocono, we're going to take a quick commercial break here before we get going at Las Vegas and get some pre-race interviews going. Sit tight, folks. It's going to be a good one right after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back live, BTDY live on VSPEED, here to bring you flag-to-flag coverage. We're going to go through your grid right quick here. Keith Mayatu starting on the pole. And I tell you what, it's going to be really interesting because we've had a couple fast guys that have been up in the top 5 all season long. Ben Badford being one of those included. Going to start on his outside. Working on through the field, Seth Hatchell in the 3rd position with Brody Hayes in 4th. Jeff Wright in 5th position with AJ Stravato in 6th. 7th position belongs to Bailey Turner with Alan Dice in 8th. Ryan Gimmel in 9th position and Reggie Ortega in 10th.
League Laser will be starting up in 11th. 12th to his outside, Joshua Banks. 13th will be Yusuf Ghali. 14th, David Shieldhouse. 15th will be Dallas Sullivan. 16th, Dennis Faircloth. 17th will be Lane Sulfridge. 18th will be Cody Atkins. 19th, Eric Hutton. And 20th will be Kyle McGarvey.
21st position belonging to Josiah Vincent with Lyle Sulfridge in 22nd. 23rd, Jeremiah Vincent and Kevin McGarvey in 24th. The Tin Machine of Noah Mikowski in 25th position with Nick Starling in 26th. 27th, Mark McFadden with Zachary Smith in 28th. 30th position will be Timmy Emanuele, Justin Carey in 31st. 32nd, Jordan Shepler and Robert Gilmore in 33rd. Rounding out your field will be Jordan Brockel in 34th.
And while we're pacing here, let's see if we can dial up AJ Stravato here in the 33. AJ Stravato, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper, the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
Yep.
Well, brother, you won this race last year. How do we feel about coming into this race here tonight?
Not so good because I'm driving a dump truck of a setup, but we're going to do what we can. Hopefully we can have a decent green flag run at the start, see where the tires are, go from there.
For sure, man. Well, good luck tonight, and go get them.
Yes, sir.
Short and sweet, and yeah, like you said, a dump truck.
To the point.
Yeah, to the point, though. Yeah, like they said, these guys have been fighting a tight condition here, and it might get even tighter as this track gets cooler, as the sun goes down, and as the nighttime falls over the shade, or as the track goes under shade and the nighttime falls. Now, I got to ask you, before we go green, we had a wild season so far. Who's your pick tonight? Did we get a new winner?
Ah, man, I tell you, it's been Seth Hatchell's show several times this season, being up in the front, leading the very end. I think I picked the 8 car to win here tonight, starting in the 3rd spot.
That was a good pick. That was my pick. But if I had to go with it, How can you go wrong with Jeff Wright in the 48? He's been so fast on these mile and a halves. Want Texas dominated Texas pretty much. So I think Jeff Wright in that 48 car gets it done. But ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys tuning in. Pace car will be making a hard left turn into pit road. Keith Biato on the pole. Ben Baffert to his outside and into the restart zone. Green flag. We're underway from Sin City. Las Vegas is live.
And coming across the line to lead lap one, Keith Biato pulls out to 0.2 of a second over Seth Hatchell, who's moved it up to the second position. He went inside of Ben Baffert and nabbed it away. That was a quick move there by the 8 machine. Try to get his, oh wow, they got really tight there off the exit of 4, or off of 2.
Yeah, Baffert able to hold tight on that outside behind them. Side-by-side battle, 3-4 rows deep. Baffert able to power ahead of Hatchell. Now Jeff Wright gets to his outside as I believe the 50 and 13 Lakota Shepler just getting out of pit road. There'll be lap traffic for the leader, Keith Biato, to deal with, but as they go into turn 1, side-by-side between the 8, the 48, the 24 of Turner, slowly but surely closing into that battle. Still side-by-side off the 2. Oh, Hatchell slide job on Bailey Turner. Turner now crosses him over into 3.
Hatchell got a little bit tight there on the exit of 2, and that moved him up the track right in front of the 24. 24 was able to carry the momentum. He probably had to lift out of the throttle. I kind of saw that maybe he gave him a break there on that exit.
Jeff Wright got by Ben Baffert, and Baffert shoving him into turn number 1. Now Wright setting his eyes onto the number 36 of Keith Biato, and look at the run, the rotation out of the 48 car. Such good speed he's had on these mile and a half years. He's already shown it early. As I'll tell you what, battle side-by-side, first side-by-side battle for the 9th position. Alan Dice side-by-side with AJ Stravato in the 33. That number 5 car, I'll tell you, he's been on it these last few weeks. Got a top 10 last week, started in 8th. He's looking for 7th on Stravato as the battle for the lead now starting to heat up. Stravato, or not, sorry, excuse me, Jeff Wright trying to pressure Keith Biato. He'll look to his outside now here in turn number 1 and 2.
Looks like he's going to get it here with the momentum. This outside line starts to work at Vegas as he nabs away the lead on the backstretch. The Nellis Straight. I tell you what, that was a very wise move Jeff Wright just put on Biato. He picked the right time to get that run.
Yeah, it's such a great run. Like we said, he's had so much speed, but the question is pushing his tires a little bit too hard. Is anybody going to be saving these tires? And what will happen here as this run, if we get along as it goes on, is Bailey Turner now makes a pass on Ben Baffert, the 24, past the 23, slots into 3rd, and now tries to pressure the 36 of Biato for 2nd, as Baffert now giving him a shove down this Nellis straightaway, and you can see down this backstretch side-by-side, AJ Stravato, Dice, David Shieldhouse running in 11th. He's got a side-by-side battle behind him with Gimmel and Banks. They're side-by-side. He's got Dallas Sullivan. They'll make a little contact off of turn 4. Sullivan, Glazer also in the mix, all inside the top 15. Reggie Ortega side-by-side with Brody Hayes for 7th.
These guys running side-by-side. Alan Dice on the outside here, trying to work on the 37 of Brody Hayes. Dice actually gets the door closed on him on the backstretch.
And now that allows Stravato to get underneath him here into turn number 3. Battle from 5th on back is looking wild. These guys got moving around all over this racetrack. More lanes than I thought was going to be usable, and you can see that pink car, or I guess pink and white car of Yusuf Ghali. He's creeped into the picture. He's running inside 10th, inside the top 10, running in 10th. And look at this, Dice. Look at the momentum he's able to carry. Brody Hayes trying to put him in the middle. Might be the meat and the sandwich here. As you can see, Dice carries that momentum down this backstretch.
Yusuf Ghali just kind of being patient, has to work with, there's no lane right now. And they almost put the 37 of Brody Hayes in the middle for 3 wide. I think Stravato right now, he said he was handling like a dump truck. He's running that bottom pretty well, though. He hasn't pushed up into Dice, and he's looking like he's about to work on the back of Brody Hayes.
And he will. I'm surprised to see these guys. Look at how everybody's up in that middle and top lane. As you can see Ghali right on the bottom. They gave Golly clean air all the way on that bottom. He'll be able to carry all that run down the Nallas straightaway and get underneath Dice and pass him. And as a change for second, Bailey Turner just got by the 36 of Keith Mayato, and now he'll try to pressure Jeff right here for the lead. Only 10 laps in is maybe Turner trying to get that track position before, is like we said, now that you can see behind these guys. Look at the different lines here. You got 3 guys running up on that outside, middle to high lane, and they're going to be able to pinch that guy on the bottom down, and it's going to make them lose that side force. They're not going to be able to keep that run. That kind of holds them down as now Baffert goes underneath Mayato for third here. Looks like he'll be able to get it as they go through 3 and 4. He will.
Mayato is losing positions. He started up front. He's falling back to fourth, and I don't know if he's saving the tires, maybe leaving something extra in the tank for when we get down to the sunset. But this track is going to change. You see guys running Alan Dice way up the banking here on the entrance of 1 and 2. Yeah, different lines, and I think multi-groove racing, it's what we want to see. This pack, 11 laps in, has stayed pretty close together, all well within 27 seconds of each other.
And we better enjoy it while we can, because as this race gets cooler, those upper grooves, and less cars are running on them, will start to fade away, and that bottom and middle and become the most dominant lane, especially as the sun starts to set and this track gets in the shade. You can see in 1 and 2 as they go into 1 and 2. Look at the shade from the billboards in the middle of the corner. They just kind of shade the track, and then the sun kind of is out all the way from the backstretch all the way off of turn 4. But as we get later into this race, by 40, 45, maybe even to 50 laps into this race, this track will be completely under shade.
Yusuf Ghali into the inside of Brody Hayes now. This is for the 9th position. These guys have been duking it out now for about, well, this is actually for the 8th spot. Been duking it out for a couple laps, and this is actually the only side-by-side battle in the top 10. These guys are starting to settle down a little bit.
And these two have had some history these last 2 weeks. I don't know if you go back to the Roval where Ghali spun out Hayes, and then Hayes got him back, and then last week, at Texas 2 weeks ago, Hayes and Ghali had a little bit of a scuffle. Hayes ended up in the wall and rake-setting damage. So maybe a little bad blood between these two going on. And you know what? Brody races hard. Yusuf races hard. You can see now we got 3 rows of side-by-side right up ahead of them. Stravato, Ortega side-by-side, and then Shieldhouse and Dice side-by-side.
Just outside the top 5, everybody's trying to decide who's going to be 6th through 10th. And Dice is still holding on to that top 10, but he is way up the track there in 1 and 2. That's the highest groove I've seen so far by anybody.
Carrying a lot of momentum, but he's got to be careful. Those tires are going to be screaming at him here in the next 10 or so laps. And I tell you, man, Ben Baffert just got by Bailey Turner for second, and Turner now giving him a little bump draft down this front stretch. And I also might point out about 2 or 3 laps ago, Seth Hatchell was able to get by his teammate Keith Mayato. Mayato now back down to 5th. And right behind Mayato, you can see, look at the different lines being used in 1 and 2. Mayato's going to be in 5th here, but AJ Stravato with the 33 clears Ortega. Now that allows Yusuf Ghali and Reggie Ortega to go side by side. A little contact there. Now Ghali gets the position away from Ortega. Ortega back down to 8th. Now Brody Hayes looking for 8th here underneath in the 37 car. 2 silver cars battling side by side behind these guys.
Ortega up on the outside, and I'm interested to see because Dice is falling back to the 13th spot. And like you mentioned before, that higher line, those tires are probably starting to get a little angry. And now he's down on the bottom. It looks like he's fallen out of the top 10 back to 13th now.
Yeah, Dice down to 13th. His teammate Dallas Sullivan running in 14th, doing a great job. He's up a few positions. Ryan Gemmel up a few positions as well. And it looks like Brody Hayes getting under pressure from David Shieldhouse now. And the 2 of Ortega trying to fight back. They're going to look 2, maybe 3 wide. And the 35 of Joshua Banks also closing into this battle. I think Ortega might have tapped the wall going into the entry of turn 1.
Yep, he clipped the wall in that entrance. It was a little deceitful. Now the 35 slides up in front of him. That closes the door up. And Reggie Ortega is just trying to get out of the way, you know? He got past, it was clean, and then here he is bouncing the wall. Now he's got guys freight training him as the 6 of Gemmel gets by him.
Oh, man. Got to be easy there, and Gemmel almost washes up into the 2, and now uses that dog leg on the apron. So far, a few battles side by side. This field's kind of single-filed out as now Gemmel goes into the inside, charges the corner, loses the nose in the wake of the 35, and that allows Ortega to get that momentum and set him up for the run down the backstretch.
You see the bumps down the back straightaway, that's upsetting these cars a little bit. You can kind of see the hop, but if we ride on board with somebody down the back stretch, we'll ride on board with, well, let's see. We'll have to wait until we get back around, but there's a lot of bumps there on the back stretch, and if you're running side by side, it's really easy to get thrown up into a guy. These cars you gotta leave a lot of room between each other.
Jeff Wright, he's loving that clean air, let me tell you. And I'll tell you here, the battle starting to heat up for the 4th position. It looks like Mayato starting to pressure Seth Hatchell, his teammate again, as we're on board with the 20 of David Shieldhouse. Now on board with Mayato. He'll look down to the inside of the 8, but he'll lose a lot of side force here, being underneath one of these cars. And you can see, it looks like Hatchell going to fight him hard. You can see him have to get out of the gas. You'll hear him get out of the gas there. And because he loses that side force, no air on the right rear quarter panel, and then he'll have to get out of it. Takes a lot of air away and gets you tight. Now Travato closing into this battle as well as Smoke, but I think they're all good there. And now Mayato gets the position. Travato looks like he loses the nose there right behind in the dirty air, the 36. That allows Hatchell to keep the 5th position, but he looks like he's starting to fall off here. That'll allow Travato to get underneath, and that allows Gali as well to get underneath, but see the 33 sliding up a little bit.
This track is definitely transitioning, and if you look at the lead that Jeff Wright has right now, about 4/10 of a second. I guess it wasn't as big as I thought. That 23 is sneaking up there in the on the outside line. We do have Smoke in front of them. Is that Casey Lakatos?
I think he's fine. Lakatos is fine. He hasn't spun or anything. I don't know if that was smoke from somewhere else. I think it's just still in the air, but so far, nothing going on here. I'll tell you, Yusuf Gali on the door of AJ Stravato. And I'll tell you what, Gali's been making up some time here. I think he started in like 10th or 11th, and he's already up into 6th. So good speed out of the 54. He was very confident going into this race. Talking to him, he said he felt like he had winning pace. Didn't qualify great, but man, he's showing he does have race pace.
Seth Hatchell falls into 5th position. Might be a turnaround here. I think the comeback starts now for the 8 machine, but Jeff Wright has pulled out over top of Seth Hatchell about 1.2 seconds, and that's my pick. You picked the 33 Stravato?
I picked Jeff. I picked Jeff.
You picked Jeff? Okay.
Yeah, so it's looking good right now, but Jeff's got some lap traffic. Like I said, I think we had some guys start from the pits. And, Jeff Wright's reeling them in, so are they going to fight him hard is the question. Will that maybe allow Bafford to close in? As you can see, Bafford running a little bit higher than Wright. And then we go back here, you can see this battle's going on. Oh, Yusuf Gali slides at the racetrack and almost gets into the door of the 8. And then Brody Hayes and AJ Stravato getting a big run down this backstretch. Here comes Shieldhouse as well.
Seth Hatchell puts it on the outside. He's able to hold on to the position. Yusuf Gali has to lift out of the throttle in 1 and 2, but look to the 54 to probably make that run again in a couple laps once that momentum builds back up. And
yeah,
that's kind of this track, you know. Once you kind of lose that run, you have to take a lap or two to build it back up. As you see him peeking to the inside, I don't think it's there yet.
This track's very, very, I mean, we've seen it in the trucks, especially how momentum-based this kind of racing can be. Xfinity car's a little less downforce, so it'll take you a lap to regain, but it won't take as much as it would in like a truck, but a cup car would be about a lap as well. So this track was very momentum-based, and especially since we're getting later into the day, definitely can become more momentum-based. As you can see, Alan Dyson is running in 13th, was running inside the top 10, and he's kind of fallen back. As we cut ahead a little bit ahead, AJ Stravato is kind of reeled in the 54. David Shieldhouse starting 14th. He's up into 8th. Last week's winner at Pocono, wanting on fuel mileage. So he's starting to show some speed here on raw race pace, and he's trying to pressure that 33 of Stravato.
I want to check outside of the top 10 here. We got some side-by-side racing. There's Eric Hutton, who we talked to last week. Hutton had a great run there at Pocono, but back here in the 17th position, just got past Dennis Faircloth for 17th, and I don't know if Hutton just qualified bad. He started back in the 19th position, 19th, so that's a lot of cars to pass tonight.
He's got a lot of cars passed, but he's second in points for a reason, and he was talking. I was talking to him before the race. He wasn't too confident, but he said he's just going to try to methodically work his way up through the field, and so far, +2 on the day so far, and he's reeling in Cody Atkins, Dallas Sullivan, and a few of the guys ahead of him. And Eric's, he's very good, and he'll figure out a way to try to get some track position, whether it's through pit strategy or in race pace. And I think he'll definitely try to get some spots here. There's Glazer ahead of him. Looks like got the spot on Alan Dice as they're side by side, and checks up Dice almost up into the outside wall. It's Dallas Sullivan trying to follow suit here on the inside and try to get by his teammate.
Glacier was one of those guys that had a great series of like the first 2-3 races in the season, and then last week just not a good week for him at all. You know, I even picked him to win a race there at Texas, and he had a hard race there. So, but then we had breakout races from guys like Noah Mikowski.
Yeah, in Phoenix, Mikowski had a great run at Texas, got a top 5, I believe, and then you had Bentley Laser at Phoenix had a great run. Looked like he had race-winning pace and could have won that race, but he just had some bad luck on a caution. And Keith Mayato, Bailey Turner going at it up inside the top 5. Mayato got by Turner into 3, and then Turner crossed them over off of the corner, and now they're side by side. Into turn number 1 is behind them. Stravato and Golly going at it. We'll see Golly's running his teammates tight here, and it looks like Mayato's going to hold on to the position, and you can see Golly just loses the nose there, and he'll have to get out of the gas. That allows Stravato by, and maybe even Shieldhouse.
Yeah, Shieldhouse is going to get the run here into 3, but he can't really carry it too well. He's got dirty air from the 33 of Stravato in front of him.
Oh, yeah, Golly's
looks like he is
again.
Yep. Golly's got in a tight situation here. Oh, boy, Dirty Hayes at the door.
Blocking Dirty Hayes, and I don't know if Hayes is going to like that too much. Hayes all over the back bumper going into turn number 1. You can see a lift off. And, yeah, like I said, these two have had run-ins, and I don't know if that's the guy you probably want to block down the front stretch, but we'll see as they go later into this run here. And these tires starting to fall off. 30 laps on these tires. If you push them too hard, you're going to have some trouble here. As you can see now, Hayes looking down to the inside, trying to get that left front quarter panel underneath, trying to loosen up Yusuf Golly. He'll get to the back bumper. He'll loosen him up the racetrack. Can he get under him is the question. No, he can't. He'll look to his outside. Doesn't look like he'll be able to do it there either.
Right up on the bumper there in the exit of 4, and they were making contact. That was definitely a push on the exit.
He was on it.
There was a lot of contact. And you know, the tempers flare. You know, I always played it on a week-by-week basis, but if I find the same guy, whether it's blocking or I'm racing near him constantly, it's hard to forget. It's hard to let it go.
It really is. Drivers don't ever forget of anything, honestly. Heck, they remember things from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago sometimes, or even the beginning of the season. Is now Ortega tried to pressure Hayes again in that Cobalt Tools Chevrolet Camaro. And that car, scary back in the early 2010s with Jimmy Johnson. That car always was fast. I think he even wanted it here in 2010 at Vegas.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Johnson, we could go throw back. There was the D-shaped ovals, man. If the Lowe's Chevrolet was still on the track with 20 to go, look out.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson won a few races here. That's speaking of 48, not Jimmy Johnson, but Jeff Wright leading here. But Baffert has kind of reeled him in. That purple and yellow Toyota Supra is closing in slowly but surely. And I will say, I don't think he's going to be. He was saying he wasn't going to be here next week, so he's got to get the points. And right now, having a solid run, running in the second position, right on the tail, right on the tire tracks of Jeff Wright here. Keith Mayato starting to reel them back in. We wondered if he was saving. He may have been, because he's starting to reel these guys back in slowly but surely. And then behind Mayato, it's a Gagula car, Stravato, Shieldhouse. Like you got the lap car, Lacatis, Seth Hatchell, and Bailey Turner all up here.
Still a tight battle from 5th position back to about 10th position. These guys haven't really let up. It's been the same 6 cars just back and forth the whole time. And I see the 20 of Shieldhouse to the inside now. That's going to the inside of Lacatis, so that's a lap car that they're kind of working around. But that is a pick that kind of jumbled these guys back up.
Oh, you can see right there, loses the nose and dirty air of the 33. He's got to be so careful here, especially in 3 and 4, where we know that air is especially going to be a little bit of more of a factor as we get later in this day. You can see now the front stretch starting to get covered in shade as the sun sets behind the grandstands. You know, the right front tires are going to be big, and I'll tell you what, this entire
closed in.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten closed up, and I'll tell you what, even Bailey Turner has kind of closed into the battle. The top 10 is starting to get a little bit closer to each other. Stravato almost got into the back end of Seth Hatchell, but yeah, this top, I would say 7, actually, honestly, all the way to Reggie Ortega is starting to kind of reel these top 3 in.
Yep, the top 3 right on top of each other, and then about 4th to 6th, 7th position right on top of each other, and then you got another group of 4 from 8th back to 11th. So it's they're all closing on each other here before pit stops.
Yeah, the car accident at pit road, I believe that might have been Mark McFadden in the 99. Yes, it was. He'll be racing, he'll turn right out with the leaders here, so he's got to be careful. And like I said, Baffert looks like he's kind of ran down the 48 of Jeff Wright. Let's see what happens here, especially with the lap car McFadden being in this mix now. As Shieldhouse goes underneath AJ Stravado here, but you'll see McFadden. Oh my goodness, he's got to be careful. McFadden almost got into the left rear of Ben Baffert there, and that's going to cost him some time. I think if Baffert's smart, he'll just let the 99 go. He's got fresher tires. There's no point in racing somebody. Oh my goodness.
They close down. I mean, the speed is there for the 99, and he knows it, but being down there on the bottom,
here,
it's just hard to carry it through and get clear of these guys. Jeff Wright
doesn't want to wreck him here.
Yeah, Jeff Wright's going to have to probably just let him go here on the inside in one.
Yeah, and Baffert is going to try to let him go here. And like I said, he's got the tires here. See what happens here. He'll have to pass Jeff Wright. Oh my goodness. Seth Hatchell almost got in the left rear of Bailey Turner and turned him around. I think damaged it a little bit there. Might have pushed it in. David Shieldhouse all the way back up to the 6th position right behind Seth Hatchell, pressuring him for the top 5 as the battle for the lead now heating up. Jeff Wright slips up a little bit. That allows Ben Baffert to his inside. What is the 36 of Mayato trying to do? This is going to be big here when we get to pit stops. How does this affect the way this track position works here? As Shieldhouse also battling with Hatchell, but the battle for the lead right now. Baffert sleds up the racetrack, so does the 48. That allows the 36 to get a massive run down the backstretch.
Mayato has the door opened up for him. He's going to take away the 2nd position to the bottom now in 3 and 4. And that's a change for the lead. The 23, Ben Baffert, just before pit stops, is going to take it away. And the 36 of Mayato trying to get back to the pole position from where he started.
Yeah.
Great job saving the tires.
And Shieldhouse back up into 3rd, or up into 5th, got by Seth Hatchell. And this top 10, like I said, all together now. But Shieldhouse, by far, looking like he has the best pace in that 20 car, setting the fastest lap times here. And now Bailey Turner goes down to cover him here down this narrow stretch. And looks like Shieldhouse almost gets to the back bumper, thinks better of it, backs off. He'll try to set up the run. Hatchell now getting a big run. Oh, looks like these top 3 are pitting. Mayato into pit road. Bailey Turner on the brakes hard. He'll make it, but now he'll be side by side with Mayato. And then Shieldhouse right behind. Ortega follows in as well as Eric Hutton. What do these leaders try to do here on lap 40? Looks like we'll cut this race into thirds here. So 2 pit stops. Shieldhouse makes it in nice and easy into his box. Bailey Turner nice and easy into his box. And Keith Mayato nice and easy into his box. What do the leaders do? Ben Baffert, he's pitting. So is Jeff Wright. And so is Seth Hatchell, Yusuf Ghali. Brody Hayes bringing it in. A lot of the top 5. Oh, Ben Baffert almost spun into the pits.
Locked it up pretty hard on the front tires, but I think he's okay. I don't think he got a speed penalty for that one.
It was close. That was definitely close. We'll see here as the guys. Looks like Mayato just exiting the pits here, or he'll be exiting the pits with Turner and Shieldhouse just exiting, and now onto the backstretch. Where will Ben Baffert cycle out here with Jeff Wright? Looks like Wright having a really, really good pit stop here. So is Ben Baffert. See who will drop the jack first. About the same time. What does Baffert do? Looks like he'll beat right out of pit road here. We'll see what happens. Where do they join? Does Mayato and Turner and Shieldhouse jump them? They're going into turn 1. It looks like they might get by. They get by Wright. They'll get by Baffert as well. Looks like that'll cycle Keith Mayato up into the lead. Where does Baffert fall back to? He's going to have 1 lap fresher tires. He'll be side by side with his teammate Bailey Turner, and I'll tell you that's what Keith Mayato wants to see is he'll slide up the racetrack a little bit.
Stravado slides into pit road. He was going to the outside of the 40 machine of Robert Gilmore, and he locked it up hard.
Yeah, a lot of guys having close calls into the pits here, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, this track almost completely under shade. We're 45 laps in this race. These lights will start coming on here within the next 10 or so laps, and turn 3 and 4 will be under the shade. Is now looks like Licata's getting passed here by Keith Mayato, Bailey Turner, and the rest of the pack, as AJ Stravado will get passed, and I believe Bentley Glazer coming in as well. Stravado looks like he may have
got a speed penalty.
Speeding. Yes, he did.
Yep, that was a tough entry, and I would go back and watch it, but we were on board with him. Kicked it sideways.
That is
I
unfortunate.
I think the 40 was kind of made it deceitful there where the cone was going to be.
he may have, and that's going to cost Andrew Stravato a lap, unfortunately. So he's going to have a tough hole to dig out of. It's a race that's been green this entire time. So we'll see what happens here. And Jeff Wright got by David Shieldhouse. Shieldhouse back down to 5th, right back down, right back up to 4th. Baffert able to jump right on that last run, but Mayato and Bailey Turner able to jump the top 2, who were the top 2, by shortcutting these 2 by 1 lap.
Yeah, Mayato gets the position back. He's got Bailey Turner, Ben Baffert, Jeff Wright, and David Shieldhouse, your top 5. Seth Hatchell outside the top 5, but he's not too far back from these boys.
Yeah, Hatchell and Gully pin on the same lap as Baffert and Wright. We'll see what they do. Dallas Sullivan has the oldest tires in the top 10, then Ortega, Brody Hayes following behind them, Ryan Gimmel having a quiet, solid night. He's running in the 11th position. How about Nick Starling? He short pitted a few laps. He's up in the 12th.
Nick Starling, and yeah, he's in the 12th position. He hit it about four laps earlier than the leader, Mayato, but in the 12th position. I mean, this is kind of an advantage. Like, I'm looking at guys like Seth Hatchell, Yusuf Ghali. They've got a little cushion in front and behind. They can run their own line. They don't have to worry about that dirty air.
Yeah.
And that can help save the tires. You might see the 8 and the 54 catch up later in this run.
And this top 5 is battling here. Is now Jeff Wright got to run off of Baffert. He'll look down to the inside now, the Nellis stretch, and he's going to just slide up there. He's got 30 air from the 24, and Baffert pinches, takes the side force away. Baffert able to hold on to this position. Like I said, they have fresher tires. Is it worth? I don't know if you want to beat them up so far. And like you said, Hatchell, Ghali, they got those fresh. They got the same tires as these guys, but like you said, they got a little bit more clear track. They're not all bunched together. They can save and then pounce later into this race. And David Shieldhouse doing the same. He's laying back nice and easy here. What can he do later on the back end of this run? When did these guys get? And these guys looking like they might pit probably at around 80. Like I said, split this race into thirds. Is Baffert right on the back bumper of Turner. He'll get underneath, and they'll have lap traffic that are side by side ahead of the leader, the Solfridge brothers, battling in the 70 of Lyle, the 71 of Lane. They'll be side by side into the corner. And ahead of the leader, Keith Mayato. What does Baffert try to do? Try to use one of these guys as a pick. He's going to get used. He's going to get tight. They're going to door each other down the back.
23 and 24 make contact. They used the 70 as a pick, and it didn't quite work up and mesh well. The 23 had to hold it down there. The 24 had to clear the lap car, the Solfridge, and now as they come off the exit of 4, the 23 might have used up his tires trying to hold it down there.
Yeah, he's just got to be careful. He doesn't want to push those tires too hard.
Jeff Wright sitting back watching all this go down, and Keith Mayato looking in his mirror, loving what he's seeing as he starts to pull away a little bit over Bailey Turner. Down the back straightaway, it's 2.26 seconds there, and I think that run we've seen the 20 of Shieldhouse have a great late run, where he came from about 6th, 7th position all the way up into the top 5. Just moved quick. He started in 14th, and he's sitting in 5th right now. He's in a good position. Jeff Wright to the inside now.
That entire last run, Shieldhouse starting in 14th, as you can see the battle for 3rd now raging on between Wright and Baffert. Wright slides up the racetrack, can't get by the 23. That bottom lane becoming a little less useful getting by somebody here. Now I think this is a time where you just kind of sit back and save those tires. You got Shieldhouse, who looked like he had the fastest car last run. Got to keep him behind you.
Yep, this top 4 kind of stayed on top of each other, running single file, top 5 even. He's still got the air. Then you Seth Hatchell. He's gained a little bit of time here. He's probably knocked off a couple tenths.
Oh, Baffert got a nice run here. What does he do with it? Oh, Turner shuts the door, and that allows Baffert to go underneath. Got into the back bumper of Turner a little bit there. Now he'll go underneath the 24. Wow, what a send. He might get into his teammate. No, he doesn't. Wow, what a send from Baffert. Able to make it stick. Baffert up to 2nd.
It is a good send, but how much longer do those tires like that before that that doesn't work anymore? I guess you gotta know your car. That's where practice comes in.
He's trying to stay ahead of the 48 of Jeff Wright. I think the tire advantage might equal out here as we go later into this run. And I think if you're Baffert might want to get the clean air. I think we saw Wright able to pull away. I think if Baffert could save his tires, get the clean air, save his tires, he can make sure that he would pretty much solidify himself as the guy to beat. He just needs to get the clean air. He's running down Mayato here as now Jeff Wright goes underneath Bailey Turner here for 3rd. That allows David Shieldhouse to close in as well. Where does Baffert go? Baffert goes to the outside lane about as high as he's ran all night. And now Wright closed really, really tight on the bottom there, battling with Bailey Turner. That allows Shieldhouse to close in as well. Baffert is pushing those tires hard, though, to get past Mayato.
Another lap ticks by. We're 55 laps into this thing. 120 laps. We're past the halfway point.
Got a run.
And that's a run right there for the 23 of
Look down to the
Baffert, and
inside.
it looks like he's going to peek to the inside. The door shuts, and he's going to run the outside line. This is where he gets his run off the exit of 2. I look for a pass down the backstretch.
No, he's just not going to have enough of a run behind them. Jeff Wright all over the back bumper of Bailey Turner, goes down to the inside. Can he get the position on Bailey Turner? He just doesn't get it pointed down there. He's going to lose the nose on the inside. He's going to slide up the racetrack. That allows David Shieldhouse to close in. And I'll tell you, like you said, who's closing in as well? Seth Hatchell in the 8. He's reeling these guys in. He was about even with Shieldhouse there, but faster than everybody else.
That time by a 31.737. Your leader ran a 31.782.
Oh, man. Wright
They're
got
close
by
up there.
Bailey Turner, and now Turner and Shieldhouse is going to go at it, but the lap car McFadden on the inside is going to probably hurt Shieldhouse. And Shieldhouse, he's willing to stick it there. They're going to make some contact in the middle of 3 and 4, but the lap car is going to pinch Shieldhouse behind.
Shieldhouse just unlucky there where he met up with the 99 of McFadden. And Hatchell now in the picture. He's coming back from 6th position. He's up
Oh, man.
within a couple tenths of Shieldhouse here.
Baffert is all over Keith Mayato here. Mayato doing a great job holding off this 23, but Jeff Wright now closing into the battle as well. Then it goes Mayato, Baffert. Then, he gets underneath Mayato. He'll move him up the racetrack. Just won't get him there. Mayato holding on too tough here, but it goes Mayato, Baffert, Wright, Turner, Shieldhouse up in the top 5. Baffert trying everything he can do on board with the VSPEED 36 machine. He has a mirror full of the 23.
The 1 and
That's
2,
on
the
the
peak
inside.
again now down to the bottom for the 23 of Baffert. He can't get the run.
Oh, man.
He's got the momentum. He just can't complete the pass. He gets to the inside.
I think about Baffert, you got the tire advantage. Just save your tires and try to get by. I know he wants to clean air, but it just seems like he might have better tires later in this run if he just saved them. He's just not saving them right now. This could bite him here in the long run as side by side for 4th. Shieldhouse and Turner. Shieldhouse can't get by the 24 yet.
Right
Oh,
up
man,
on the
all
bumper
over him.
there. All over him as he sends it into turn 1. Maybe a little contact there. I don't know for sure. But the 24 of Bailey Turner has a mirror full of Shieldhouse, and then Mayato has a mirror full of Baffert. These guys
Shieldhouse got
kind
to
of
the
pulling away
outside.
here.
Yeah, they are. But they're pushing their stuff, and that might bite him here in this long run. Shieldhouse finally got a run. He'll look underneath Turner. What does he try to do? He's trying to slide job? I'll tell you what, these two are about to have a mirror full of Seth Hatchell here pretty soon. Is now Shieldhouse goes down to the inside. He'll try to get by Turner. Turner just pinching him down there. Can't get the run off the corner. He'll slide up a little bit. Just can't clear. They'll go into turn 3. It's going to be even tighter in 3 and 4. Can he complete the position? He'll send it into the corner. Turner all down on that right rear quarter panel. Shieldhouse just can't get back into the gas. He might be able to do it right here. As Turner right on that quarter panel, just can't do anything now. Here comes Seth Hatchell behind.
Hatchell's been
Shieldhouse
patiently
might get
waiting,
position
and he's
here.
been saving these tires. Now Shieldhouse has to play a little
He will.
defense to the bottom. And Hatchell might pick off the 24 and get the run off the exit. Or maybe a little door contact as Hatchell
Oh.
moves up. That's close.
See here now, Shieldhouse going underneath the lap car of Jeremiah Vincent. Vincent, a lot of right rear damage. I'm not sure what happened there, but he has lost a lot of pace and goes down a lap. And let's see here now, Seth Hatchell looking down to the inside of Bailey Turner. It took a while for Shieldhouse to get by. How long is it going to take Hatchell to get by the 24? Will he use a little more force? He'll go down to the inside. He's got 1 lap fresher tires. Not a lot of grip on that bottom lane, especially when somebody's on your outside.
Yeah, Hatchell set back and saved those tires for quite a few laps. Ran a quicker time than the leader at one point. Now just not able to get the pass. He's going to probably have to take it on the outside. It looks like that
Tell you what.
outside groove has been a lot quicker here.
Bailey Turner is doing a heck of a job holding these guys off. I know his tires are struggling, but he's been able to hold off a lot of these guys. And tell you what, who's starting to have the pace, Yusuf Ghali, he turned in 32 flat, a tenth faster than everybody ahead of him. He is running these guys down quick. Same with Brody Hayes. Brody Hayes, not too far behind Ghali. He's starting to run these guys down a little bit as well.
So based off the pit stops that we had, some of these guys got a little bit behind on the pit cycles. They're starting to make that time back up because of the clean air and the big gaps between the cars.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like once they get into that threshold of this group, they're having a hard time getting to the inside or clearing them. It's like the tires instantly just don't want to run that bottom.
Yeah, it looks like there's not enough grip. I don't know if the setup's not allowing enough grip there. As finally Seth Hatchell got to the outside. Can he keep the run is the question. No, he won't. Bailey Turner shuts the door on him once more. But like I said, I think it's just hard to, like I said, you just get, you're already tight, and then you got somebody on your right side taking all that air away. It makes it even more tight, and the car just slides up the racetrack, and you just can't get back to the gas before the guy on the outside can.
So we're checking in with some of these guys that were running up close to that top 10. Nick Starling was in the 12th position earlier a moment ago. He's fallen back to the 18th spot. Alan Dice, who started in the top 10, is back to 15th position. He's got Cody Atkins working his rear bumper right now for the top 15. Yeah. And, I mean, some of these guys that you know they're having solid seasons. Don't count them out yet because we still have a lot of racing to go. But Alan Dice to start up there in the top 10. It's been the opposite all season, you know. He's started towards the back and worked his way in. Yeah, no, and Dice did a phenomenal season. Had a phenomenal season so far. I'm really looking forward to once we get to the points multipliers. And we'll get to more in detail on that later in the year, but you're going to see a lot more positions are going to matter a lot more with the way the points are going to work and more aggressive drivers. We don't have a chase this year, but those points multipliers will act like a chase, and the points can flip in just one race. Checking in with Kevin McGarvey. He's kind of had a quiet night all race long. We got, what we got? Make it side by side with Seth Hatchell. Made a little bit of contact with him. I almost got into, I think they just touched doors and didn't really rub a lot of doors. As Shieldhouse just got by Jeff Wright, and now Golly gets by Hatchell. Can he get the 2-for-1 special on Bailey Turner, his teammate? He'll slide up, almost get into him. He'll have to slide back in line here. Like I said, Golly's been showing the most pace out of anybody in this top, I would say top 7, and he's showing it right now. Gets by Hatchell. Can he get by his teammate? It just seems like nobody can get by the 24. Last time by, Yusuf Ghali ran a 32 flat compared to everyone else about 32.2. Jeff Wright ran a 32.4. There goes Ghali right on by. Yep, that's showing you right there that these guys were using up their tires, racing each other. And Yusuf Ghali, who set their back long enough, now catching pace. He's worked his way into the top 5. Don't count out Brody Hayes either. Brody Hayes behind this group. He's ran these guys down as well. Pitted on the same lap as Yusuf Ghali. Brody Hayes a 32.1. He's still a couple tenths faster than the leaders. So he's also making pace. Hatchell now underneath the 24. Turner thinks better of it. He'll tuck back in line. Just seems like it's so hard to get by that 24 if you just don't have, if you're even with him, it's going to be tough. And even a little bit faster, it looks like it's just tough. Turner doing a masterful job holding off these guys. As Hatchell get a little physical, maybe move them out of the way. No, I think there's still a lot of racing left to be done, and you don't want to leave that guy 10 laps to catch you and get back to your bumper. I think maybe when there's like 10 to go. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we'll see. They'll get even more aggressive as we go later in this race. There goes Hatchell now back underneath. Looks like Baffert starting to put a little more pressure on Keith Maiato, but Maiato has that so valuable clean air, and he's able to kind of keep that gap steady at about 2.5 tenths of a second. But don't look now. Look who's up in third. David Shieldhouse in that 20 Heartbeat Hot Sauce Camaro. Having himself another run, trying to get another top 3 and trying to go for 2 in a row. Can he do it is the question. He's about a second behind the leader, Keith Maiato, and he's got one car in between with Ben Baffert in the 23. Golly running down the 48 of Wright. He's got the bottom groove, and I haven't seen a lot of guys running that. He's down there on the bottom and holding it consistently. And look at this track. Look at this track, under complete shade now. The lights will probably kick on here in just a few laps, so we'll see what happens. I know these guys don't want to caution. That will be the make it really interesting. We'll see what happens there. And like I said, we're only about 10 laps. 10 laps away from pit stops probably happening again. So if you got the tires now, you might want to just start using them. Well, Maiato able to maintain that cushion. About 4 tenths of a second here as they exit turn 2. Oh, here comes Golly underneath right here for the 4th position. They'll make a little contact. Almost made a little contact there, and Golly goes right on by. Golly up into 4th.
right back down to 5th. The battle behind them in 6th. Oh, Seth Hatchell gets a little bit of a bumper from his teammate Brody Hayes. I think he slipped up, hit the apron. Hayes ran into the back of him, but Hayes, like we said, has the same tires as Gawley, had some pace like Gawley, but now he's kind of just stuck in 8th here behind his teammate and behind the 24, Bailey Turner.
Hayes has got the speed we saw the last time by, and now, like you said, he kind of hits a brick wall. He's running identical times. He's going to have to plan his passes accordingly. But as we approach pit stops, I think I sit back here behind my teammate, try to coordinate when we're going to pit, and maybe short pit a lap on that leader.
Yeah, you might need to. And look at Keith Maiano did. He was able to get the lead out of it and hold on to the lead, had that clean air, and he's kind of pulling away from Ben Baffert. A half a second lead on Baffert, and then about a second lead over David Schildhaus, who pitted on the same lap. So the track position definitely starting to show that it's valuable. It's a beautiful shot there off of turn 2. The cars coming by with the sunset in between the billboards. But yeah, Maiano's opening up that gap, a 32.3 to Baffert's 32.32 to Baffert's 32.36, and then Schildhaus a 32.34. So he's starting to fall off a little bit there. And Gawley a 32.2. Definitely the fastest car on the racetrack right now, at least the fastest car inside the top 5.
Yeah, 0.2 of a second. He's catching up to these leaders. He's just about got. We got some back here with Hatchell. Brody Hayes finally to the outside of Bailey Turner here down the backstretch.
You've been waiting to make this pass for 20 laps. Can he do it? Turner able to get back into the gas, but he'll just lose the nose there. You can see it. He'll lose 1, and he'll lose 2 right there with Brody Hayes. And how about Reggie Ortega in the 2 closing in on this battle as well?
Cobalt Machine starting to make it back up. Had some tough pit stops, and remember, some of these guys hit some lap traffic or hit some cars that were exiting pit road, and that kind of threw them all out of whack. They're recovering nicely, though. This top 10 starting to get back on top of each other like we saw earlier in this race, and we're approaching probably about 5 laps now before these guys hit pit road again.
Schildhaus has ran down Baffert for the 2nd position, while Keith Maiano has turned on the jets, and he's 9/10 of a second faster, or 9/10 of a second up on the 2nd place Ben Baffert. Even if you try the shortcut, will it work is the question, as Maiano has opened up quite a gap, and Schildhaus showing a little more pace, but that paint car is getting bigger and bigger in those mirrors. Yusuf Gawley, he's closing up on these two, and especially these two get to battling, we might see Gawley close in. You can see him, he's closing in. That Toyota Supra is getting bigger and bigger.
Off of turn 4, Yusuf Gawley still running the very bottom. He was about half a tenth faster. So I don't know, maybe he's went a little stagnant here, but we're approaching pit stops. Yusuf Gawley needs to get on and off pit road really well, not have any mistakes. He's worked his way up here in the top 5.
Bailey Turner bringing it in a little early here. Jeff Wright now bringing it in. What will this do to the top 2 or 3? Does this force their hand in pitting here?
I believe so.
Maiano
I think
stays
they're
out.
going
The
to have
top 3, top 4 stay out. Wright coming in now.
Oh, he locks it up hard, and he's going to lose it almost.
Oh, no, he's around.
48 almost loses it entirely. Does he get a speeding penalty?
I don't know if he'll get a speeding penalty. He's definitely going to lose a lot of track position there, almost spinning out as the lights have now come on to the racetrack here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But that's really going to hurt. Jeff Wright looks like he'll miss the stall barrier. No, he'll make it. And now that allows, sounds like Seth Hatchell bringing it in. Brody Hayes bringing it in. Oh, Brody Hayes spinning. Can he
He's going to hit the inside wall.
He's going to spin around, and he'll keep it off of the wall. No, he won't. He'll tap the wall, but valuable track position is going to be lost. And look at all the cars passing him in a pit road.
He lost about 5 positions there coming down pit road. And Brody Hayes is going to fall back. He's probably going to exit pit road and cycle through in the 15th, 16th position.
Baffert and Schildhaus, I believe, are pitting. So is Maiano. Now look at the time Baffert and Schildhaus go. Oh, no, Schildhaus spins. Around goes David Schildhaus to the 20 into the inside wall. Trouble on pit road for multiple drivers, and what you could argue one of the fastest drivers spinning in pit road, downshifting down to get to 2nd gear. You can see wheel hops and he spins it around, and he's going to lose a lot of track position with that.
That's a ton of time, and you couldn't afford it. This race has went green
No.
all the way through.
And Golly comes in as well, and like I said, my auto came in as well. What does this do? Is my auto exiting with lap cars? He'll be out of pit road. I think Bailey Turner will probably jump my auto. So will Jeff Wright. But oh no, Bailey's barely going to jump my auto. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to lose any more time there. And now it looks like it's a race between Baffert, my auto. Like I said, David Shieldhouse is going to lose a ton of spots.
That's, man, what a
Wow.
turn of events here.
I know,
Joshua
it's
Banks
crazy.
bringing it down pit road. Oh man, it must be tough. It must be slick down there.
It really is. And you have the downshift. It's a hard downshift. And it upsets the car so much with the transition. As Yusuf Ghali exiting pit road, he'll have the freshest tires of anybody, I think, inside the top 10. Top 5 once it all cycles through. Unfortunate events. And Justin Carey leading some laps in the 12. Zach Smith in second now. These two get a caution, they'll be looking really good.
Justin Carey still out on the track. Zachary Smith out there with him. Joshua Banks bringing it down pit road. Bailey Turner, as this all cycles through, will be your leader, and he's about 1.5 seconds ahead of Keith Maiato.
3 lap older tires, though.
Yeah.
And we've seen how much track position matters, too, so... Will these 3-lap tires hold off is the question. And remember, he's teammates with Ben Baffert. Does he maybe hold up my auto a little bit, allow Baffert to close in? Tell you what, though, Baffert, he's on my auto here. These two got equal tires, pitted on the same lap. What are they going to be able to do is the question. We saw Jeff Wright. He's up into what will be the 5th position, or 4th position. But like we said, he almost spun on his entry, killed a lot of time.
So we're going back. This guy, he worked all the way up into the top 3. He's starting all over again. David Shieldhouse back to the 14th position. Another guy that suffered from that entrance to pit road was I believe, the 33 of Stravado. He almost loses it. He goes sideways, so he's back in the 12th position, getting passed now by he's getting passed by Nick Starling. This is going to be tough.
Hoping for a caution because remember he was one of the first victims of getting caught speeding there, and he's trying to hold on here, and looks like it's Bailey Turner, and wow, Timmy Emanuele was not willing to give that lap up there to Bailey Turner, and Emanuele's fighting him.
On the outside here, the 24 Bailey Turner going to the outside of Emanuele, and it's still side by side as they go into 1. This racing side by side is going to allow Keith Maiato to catch up a little bit here.
Oh, careful there! A little contact almost there from Emanuele and Turner. And like I said, Emanuele was not willing to give that lap up, fighting the leader for his lap. And now Justin Carey will come out of the pits right in front of the leader, trying to stay on the lead lap as well. So Bailey Turner's kind of got some cars he's got to get around, but he's also got cars that are kind of buffering himself away from Keith Maiato.
His laps progress, 87.
And Maiato's got Baffert kind of closing in as well, so lappers might play a little bit of a factor here.
87 laps in out of 120, and that was probably the final pit stop here to make it to the end. It's going to be close because we were running about 44, 45 laps. These guys are going to have to save a little bit because they're now 9 laps into this stint. It's going to be close.
Yeah, and Emanuele fighting Bailey Turner for the lucky dog here, trying to get his lap back. It's going to play an interesting role. Look at how much it's allowed Keith Maiato to close in, but Emanuele is going to slide up the racetrack a little bit. What does Maiato do? What does Emanuele do? I think Emanuele is going to fight Maiato as well.
There it is on the outside. Emanuele takes him down to the bottom. The 36
he's
right up on the bumper here.
Too. He's going to get the run. What's this going to do for the 36? What's he going to do for the 23 as well? Now Maiato looking down the inside. They're going to go 3 wide with the lap car. Here comes Baffert as well.
3 wide for the lead.
Oh,
24.
And
moves Emanuele up there.
All over him
Wow.
right there. That's going to allow Maiato up to the lead. Here
They're
comes
still 3
Baffert.
wide.
Ooh, I don't think Bailey Turner's too happy. Now Baffert trying to get by. Emanuele, like I said, fighting for his lap. He just doesn't have the pace that Maiato or Baffert do.
Emanuele does have a little bit fresher tires, though. Maybe on the same stint. I don't know. The 39 looks pretty strong here running next to these guys. But this mixes everything up and puts the 36 of Maiato back to the lead Baffert gets around Bailey Turner. 39 has bumper company as
Yeah,
they
it
exit
comes-
too. These guys are being really patient with Emanuele, but Emanuele's got to
Yeah.
know this is for the lead. This is up front, so
Okay,
he's
boy.
going to almost pinch us down on the 23. There was almost contact there.
Oh, I don't think that.
And- and it was- Oh no, and the 23 goes into the grass. Did they not wreck?
That's gonna have a lot of damage there.
Wow, that hurts the 23. Let's go back and take a look at that.
That's gonna really hurt Emanuele.
Emanuele's going to lose a ton of time there, but think about the 23 cars. They come off of turn 4, and I think the 23 of Baffert just had enough, but he ends up costing himself a little time. Almost goes into the infield grass and loses it.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of damage there, but yeah, I know Emanuele was kind of holding him up, but it's really worth turning him there. It's going to cost him so much time. Might even cost him a chance at winning this race there, as now Keith Mayato has a 7/10 of a second lead. Can he pull away from everybody is the question. And right now, Yusuf Ghali, like we said, he has the freshest tires for anybody in the top 6, but he's 3.5 seconds behind Keith Mayato, and he's got a bunch of lap cars that are going to be trying to get around him.
Yeah, Yusuf Ghali also had a little bit slower pit stop. If you look at his pit lane, it's 40 seconds, 40.5,
We got
and
a
then
speeding
14.8 in his
penalty.
box. So, well, I mean, comparatively, 39.8.
Oh, no, I think it's good,
Yeah, he
actually.
was good. He was clean, but he was about a second slower on pit road compared to everybody else. So he comes into pit road in the top 5 and loses that 1 second, turns into 3 or 4 on the track.
It could, yeah. And a shame for David Schildhouse, like we said, spinning in pit road. He's down to 11th here in that 20 car. I don't know if he might be able to crack his way inside the top 10. He's kind of running in a pack here, but with some other cars ahead of him that have older tires. So we'll see what he could do. But unfortunately, not the night he was hoping for, because he looked like he had pace to win this race.
Caution would bail some of these guys out, help them with the recovery. That we're talking about the 30 of Schildhouse, the 33 of Stravato. Several guys. I'm actually looking for the 33 of Stravato out here on the track.
He's 26th.
He's not having a good night.
No. First or second, or these few cars ahead of him are a lap down, unfortunately. So, yeah. Oh, Jeff Wright hits the wall. It looks like Hatchell and Emanuele almost get into him. That's going to cost Wright some time. It's going to cost Hatchell some time. That allows Bailey Turner to kind of scoot away. And here comes the lap cars that have fresher tires. Oh, Lyle Sulfridge almost up into the outside wall there. And now 2 rows of side by side. Now going to be 3 wide for a second with the 70.
This is a mess of cars here. We've got lap cars. We've got guys passing for position. Yusuf Ghali in the middle of that mix in 6th position, trying to get by. Where do you go?
You really can't go anywhere here. You go where they're not, I guess. As you can see, Ghali going down to the inside here. He'll be Schepler side by side with Wright. Oh, Ghali loses the nose. Smith trying to remember, these guys are lap cars. They'll hopefully give them some room here and not cause any incidents. So see these guys fighting hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting, and even this 39 Emanuele, the 13, this is all for the lucky dog position. So these guys are kind of fighting amongst themselves for that as well.
There's a race within the race.
Yeah, and so if the caution does come out, Emanuele wants it. He was fighting hard with the leader.
I
just a
hate to
moment
break
ago.
it to them, but if the caution comes out, it's going to be from this little group right here. They're racing really hard.
Yeah,
Got to be easy. Don't want to get into each other here. As you can see, things kind of sorting themselves out.
Zach Smith actually being scored ahead of Timmy Emanuele for some reason, because I see the one
he's
car,
ahead
but
now.
he just got ahead of him. Okay,
Oh.
so the 13 is Schepler, trying to figure out exactly where he's sizing up here.
Well, I'm afraid it's 2 laps down to the 13.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of
Trying
battling
to
now.
sort this out.
Hatchell side by side with Bailey Turner. Oh, that's going to get tight with 3 wide there. Oh man, it's going to be really tight. Oh, Yusuf Ghali's going to take him 4. Ghali down to the apron here.
They're going to have to give him a little bit of room. He backs out of it.
out.
He thinks better of that situation. The 8 car is going to clear Bailey Turner and slide up the track. That's going to open up the door for Yusuf Ghali on the exit.
Yeah, he's got to be easy here. Looks like he won't be able to clear him here, but He'll try to get by Turner. He'll try to get the 2-for-1 special by Seth Hatch, but I think Hatchell's going to be a little bit tougher to pass because he's got less older tires, about 2-lap older tires than Yusuf Ghali. Ghali with the best tires, but he just doesn't have the track position 3 seconds behind Keith Mayato.
Mayato coming out of turn 2. Yeah, it's coming out of turn 2 now. Hatchell and Yusuf Ghali still running side by side back here.
Like I said, I get Baffert. I know he wasn't too happy with Emanuele, but it costed him a chance at the win there. I mean, that costed him a second and a half here. Or I would say it cost him about a second. So I'm
I mean, he does pull away from Bailey Turner. Bailey Turner's starting to struggle. He had older tires, so. But I think the mindset was that Ben Baffert just was his patience had ran out.
Point. Yeah, I think he's trying to prove a point there.
Yeah.
As Ghali moves up into third now. Like I said, the freshest tires of anybody. He's got 2-lap fresher tires. Is it going to be enough to run down 3 seconds? He's got 19 laps.
Let's see what the lap times shade out to be. We're going to give Yusuf Ghali a full lap here in clean air. Mayato, who is out there by himself, lap time by a 32.045.
That was not faster.
That was a bit faster, but remember, Yusuf Ghali had just got around Seth Hatchell on that lap, so let's see what he gets this time by. If he's a 10th faster, he has the time.
He does. Let's see. And he's got to consistently keep it up as well. He might have to get by Baffert as well, and we know Baffert's going to be tough to get by. Let's see here. I mean, they're going to probably be about even. I don't think he's going to gain much. Let's see here.
It's a 10th of a second.
10th.
Yep, he's got the time. He's just got to do it every single lap.
So a tough task to get through is Mayato, like I said, 2 seconds ahead of Ben Baffert, but 3 seconds ahead of Yusuf Ghali. But Mayato's got some traffic that he's got to get through, and if he doesn't, if he's able to get by it, I don't really see too many cars ahead of him enough that he's going to have to really have to get through. So. See here, and they might cost him a little time. Around the 71 now of Lane Salfridge, and Salfridge just gets up out of the way. The next car in front of him is the 99 of Mark McFadden. These guys haven't really been problem childs tonight, so I think they're getting around them pretty easy. Yeah, I think it's once we get to the battle of, I don't know if he'll run up on Carey and Mikulski, who are quite a ways away. Racing for position, yeah. Yeah, so. I don't know if he'll get to them in time. Is Eric Hutton and David Shieldhouse? Dallas Sullivan going out inside the top 10. It's a battle for the 8th position. How about Dallas Sullivan inside the top 10 running in 8th? Yep, 8th through 10th right here right on top of each other. Eric Hutton, how about him? He came back, Hutton, really far back at the start of this race. But himself a solid position. Night. So cracking the top 10. Gonna hold down there. Shieldhouse gonna run it off the outside really well there. Maybe take the inside line. There he goes down. He peeks. He's gonna try to get 2 of them. And I think he'll get 2 here if he can get by Sullivan. Sullivan's putting up a fight here. Oh man, it's gonna be tight off of 4. And it looks like Sullivan's gonna fight hard here on the outside of Shieldhouse. For the 7th position, Shieldhouse has the nose. The 46 of Sullivan had the speed. They just ran out of racetrack there on the exit of 4. I think both of them had to lift off there a little bit. Yeah. Oh, man, he's got to be careful. He's going to brush the wall. The 46 just barely nicks it, but still has the speed to get back to the door of Shieldhouse and hold that position for one more corner. Going to probably get it here. Yeah, he will. Shieldhouse going to go. A crossover from Dallas, though. I don't know if it's going to hold on the inside. Now Eric Hutton now gets a run to the outside. This might drop Dallas Sullivan back if he elects to take the inside. He might lose another position here. He's going to slide up there. It's going to allow Hutton to get to his outside. Yep. He's going to lose 1 there. He's going to lose 2, unfortunately. And David Shieldhouse getting the 2-for-1 special in those 2 laps there, and he'll go up to 8th. Try to run down Reggie Ortega, who is 3 seconds ahead of him. Jeff Wright, Reggie Ortega. They've caught up to Bailey Turner, who was leading this thing after that pit stop cycle. We've got about 12 laps to go. Shout out to Reggie Ortega as well. A solid run for him tonight. His best run of the year so far, I think I would say. So at least on the 1.5 miles. So he's running well inside the top 10. So yeah, we've seen the 2-car. We've seen the 2-car run in the top 10. It's just sealing the deal. And now in the closing laps, it looks like he might have a top 10 sealed up here. Yeah, and it looks like he might You can see it's tight though. His teammate right ahead of him, and got Bailey Turner, who's starting to struggle with grip here.
All right, let's check back in. Yusuf Ghali that time by.
Yeah,
He was
he's
actually
not-
slower than Keith Mayato. Ben Bafford losing ground. 3
I think
seconds
Gully
back.
might get Bafford here, and Bafford probably fall down to third, looking at the pace. But Keith Mayato is in his different zip code right now, but like I said, about 3 seconds ahead. So doing a phenomenal job tonight. Shout out to Keith Mayato. He hasn't won since, I believe, Kansas of last year. So another mile and a half, and looking to get that first win of the season here for the 36. He's ran up front all year, and he just hasn't been able to seal the deal. He's 10 laps away next time by. What he's hoping for is no caution as Reggie Ortega gets by the 48 of Jeff Wright. Move him into 6th. Hank Ortega might be getting the top 5.
He's moving. He's sneaking up there. Bailey Turner will be the next car, and he'll crack the top 5. We've got a lot of traffic in front of these boys, though. The 99, the McFadden is going to
Get
drop it
out of the way.
all the way down. Nicely done for the 99.
Ooh, Bailey Turner really push up the racetrack there, and here comes Ortega. Gonna get a nice run down this front stretch. He'll peek to the outside. Maybe he'll go down to the inside. Like I said, he's got about 3 lap fresher tires than Bailey Turner. He'll go down to the inside. Gets a little loose into the corner. Bailey Turner's been really tough to pass today. He's gonna slide up the racetrack a little bit, almost make a little contact with Turner. He'll save it.
Ortega's got to be smart about this, because if he runs that low line too much, that's going to open the door up for Jeff Wright, and Wright might get around both these guys. So he's got to be careful with that.
He'll get
The
another run
24
here.
is going to allow him to have that inside. That is
He's
a
got a
smart
lot
move
more
by
pace.
Bailey Turner.
A lot more pace in that 2 car, a lot better tire, fresher tire there. You can see it said, oh my goodness, really loose on the inside. Bailey Turner's gonna run him tight. Ortega, like I said, she's got the tire advantage. Although Bailey Turner, man, he's fighting hard.
Still side by side down the back straightaway. You can see the run the outside line gets. It's even tougher in 3 and 4. A little pinch down here with the 24.
Boy. He's got to be really careful, Bailey Turner. He doesn't want to get knocked up sideways and get turned, as the battle for second is about to start heating up, as Yusuf Ghali has ran down Ben Bafford here for second. He'll go right on by, or not right on by, but he'll be at least next to him. This for the second position is a little close quarters racing, as Ortega and Turner still going down at it here down the Dallas backstretch.
These guys still haven't finished this up. It's been side by side for about 2 laps now, and Ortega just can't get him cleared. And man,
he should be
Bailey
able to get him
Turner
here off
holding on to it. I think he's got it this time, maybe. No, it's still door to door down the front stretch.
Keith Mayato is praying that these guys don't get into each other and wreck each other.
Jeff Wright now.
I think he
looking to
should
the
get him here. I
inside.
think Ortega's going to get him.
Yep, and now it's Jeff Wright, and then maybe
boy.
some contact there.
That was almost the caution right there that Keith Mayato didn't want to see. Right, they had to back out, got into the quarter panel, but they saved it.
They're catching
Ortega
up to these
in the
guys.
5th. Yeah, they are. Ortega's got some speed in that number 2 car. I bet you he's hoping for a caution, because he's looking like the fastest car on the racetrack right now. As Bafford a 33 flat and a 32.9 for Ghali's. They're battling. That has allowed Seth Hatchell to catch up as well.
Hatchell in the 4th position, trying to crack into the top 3. Yusuf Ghali, Ben Bafford, who has a little bit of right front damage, the contact with the lap car of Emanuele earlier in the run. Side by side as they come off at turn 4. Yusuf Ghali has the momentum. Looks like he's probably going to complete the pass here as they go into turn 1.
I don't know, on that bottom side, it's going to be really hard. He's just going to have to send it into the corner here. So they're going to be side by side. What's going to happen here? Bafford's going to drive it on that door. Ghali's going to try to keep it down there. He's going to get tight. Like I say, has that tire advantage. He's just got to be careful here. Is Bafford pulling him back? Now they'll be about dead even down this Dallas super stretch, or the Dallas straightaway. Bafford's going to drive it on that quarter panel here. He's going to keep it right there. He's going to make 54 have to wait to get back on the gas here. He's just got better tires here. And that's, like I said, allowed Seth Hatcher to close in. I think Ghali should be able to get it here going into 1. And I think he will. Move Ghali up into 2nd. 4 laps to go here.
Maybe a crossover here from the 23 as they exit turn 2. He's going to get right up on the
He's
bumper.
got to run. No, he has to back out. Now the battle will probably heat up for 3rd as Ghali could probably scoot away. It's going to allow Seth Hatchell to close up to the back of the 23 as Keith Mayato setting sail 4, almost 5 seconds ahead of the field here in that 36 VSPEED Camaro, all by himself here and looking for his first win of the season here in BTDY. And man, what a race. Ever since that second set of stops, was able to get the clean air, and man, he took it and ran away with it.
Just better on pit road all around. Great job by the 36 team to get their car back up on the pole. They qualified first and they fell out of the top 5 for a brief moment. But after the pit cycles, the 36 team showing why they're the ones to beat here at Las Vegas. 2 laps to go now as he heads into turn 1. 4.7 seconds ahead of your second place driver, Yusuf Ghali. And I think Ben Bafford's got some company here on these closing laps.
He sure does. He's got to be easy here with Seth Hatchell, as they're going to be having a lap and a half to go. Keith Mayato's hoping that they just keep it clean and green here for this next lap and a half here, or this next, I'd say, lap, as he'll come off of turn 4. Keith Mayato will see the white flag, the battle for third going on.
Still going on. Down to the bottom, Seth Hatchell to the inside of Bafford. Doesn't have anything there. Can he get to the outside on 1 and 2?
You're going to have a nice run as they'll come off of turn number 2 for the final time and down the Nellis straightaway. Keith Mayato will go into 3 and 4 for the final time. As they say, Viva Las Vegas. Keith Mayato will come off of turn 4, and he'll get his first win of the season. It'll come in the Sailor Taro Magic 175. Keith Mayato wins it at Las Vegas. Ghali second. Bafford holds on to third over Seth Hatchell. Reggie Ortega gets his first top 5 of the season. Bailey Turner brings it home 6th. Wright 7th. Shieldhouse able to rebound to 8th. How about Eric Hutton up in 9th? And Dallas Sullivan gets a top 10 once again. But Keith Mayato, first win of the season. Unfortunately, I don't think we picked him, but his first win of the season, and a heck of a win for Keith Mayato. Somebody who could win the championship so solid. And how about it? He's able to get his first win of the season. And it comes here at Sin City in Las Vegas, at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway under the lights. He'll burn it down for the first time this season. Stick around, and we'll be right back for some interviews with your winner, Keith Mayato, and your top 3 of Yusuf Ghali and Ben Bafford.
Sailor Tower Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
VSPEED Sailor Terra Magic 175. BTDY presented by Martin Sports. We're back here catching up with our top three down on pit road. And we've got the third place finisher, Ben Bafford, down here.
I believe we do.
Up here. Ben Bafford, you got a copy, buddy?
We got a copy.
We got him. Ben, well, you come home in third place after a little contact for the lap car of Timmy Emanuele. What did you need there to maybe even stick with Keith?
Well, first of all, we need a better setup, better track temp, everything. Car was awful to drive, plowing tight, no rotation in it at all. Awful dirty air, some of the worst I've ever experienced on the game. Couldn't get more than, unless you were tenths and tenths and tenths faster than somebody. If you got within 3/10 of somebody, you were dropping back. Keith drove a really good race, blocked a lot of air, and it's ultimately what let him get away with that one. But he drove a really good race.
I see. Well, next week we go down to, I believe, the Nashville Super Speedway. Different. I think it was going to be a dirt race now in Nashville. How do you feel about going out there? Oh, I don't know if you're going to be here, but how do you feel about going out
I
there?
will be in Boston, Massachusetts, but I will be watching from my phone, so I hope y'all put on a good show. I'm sure that's going to be a pretty fun race as long as it's not a night race, but we'll see. I'm not too hopeful for that.
All right. Well, again, congratulations on third place. Does anybody want to give a shout out to?
I had to give a shout out to Timmy Emanuele. Drove a great race, battling up there for the lead for a little bit, but what can you do?
Absolutely, Ben. All right. Well, you have yourself a good night, and we'll hopefully see you back at Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We'll start casting interview there from Ben Bafford.
Yeah, we're not even going to touch that. It is what it is.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go to Yusuf Ghali. I think, Bradley, you got him as well.
Yeah, I got Yusuf Ghali down here on pit road, and the 54 machine had the faster tires. Just Keith Bayatu just too far out there towards the end. But you come home second. You had the right strategy, and a lot of guys struggled on pit road. You were able to get it done, though.
Yeah, I think I did a poor execution on pit road both times that we came in under green, but had the car, had the tires, just didn't have the execution. But other than that, I had a great race with Ben there towards the end. I think I got into him, but I made sure to stay behind him so we could keep racing it out cleanly there because Ben's someone that I respect on the track, so I don't want to pass him by just moving him.
Wait, the 54 machine was fast. You were able to recover from you said your execution on pit road was a little tight and a little tough, but you come back running down Keith Mayalto in those closing laps. Were you praying for a caution to group this field back up?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I was beating most of the guys that I needed to beat in points. Keith is ahead of me, but sometimes it's just how it is. You're not going to beat everyone every week, so just chipping away at those point leads is kind of the goal for the next few races.
Well, you get it done here at Las Vegas, and then next week, Alec, remind me again, we're going
Nashville Super Speedway.
Nashville Super Speedway, and I know that's a track that some guys aren't familiar with, but what do you have in store for us there at Nashville?
I've actually only ever raced there once or twice. I think the only time I've raced there in the last couple of years was last season in the next gen in this league, and I never really got to show my speed there because I was a lap down, but I remember being pretty quick regardless. But we'll just see how it is with this new Xfinity car and other people maybe in the league. I know David's always going to be fast everywhere, so we'll just see how it goes.
10-4. Good luck there. And do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's second place?
Pretty much just everyone in the field. Just clean racing all around. There wasn't any wrecks or anything to ruin it with the caution. So I just got to thank everybody for keeping it green there.
Well, we appreciate your time, Yusuf, and maybe we'll get to talk to you at Nashville.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
Second place finisher, Yusuf Ghali, with an outstanding performance. And finally, last but not least, and first on the pole, first to finish first, we have your winner here tonight, Keith Mayalto.
Keith Mayalto, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper, the VSPEED booth. Got a copy?
I'm here.
Well, buddy, you bring it home, a winner tonight, your first win of the season, brother. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. Going into the race, you probably heard that I wasn't very optimistic, but even the first run, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm overdriving it a little too early or I underdrove it. And then once the run got a little bit longer and I found that I caught myself up to Jeff and Ben, I was like, okay, I'm underdriving this thing. I could push a little harder.
For sure. We know that everybody's seeing little tight conditions out there, but next week we go out to Nashville Super Speedway. How do you feel about maybe going back to back?
it's always the plan, and it usually doesn't happen. But we'll try. Hopefully, it's not as tight as here, because 2 lanes were possible here. I'm not sure about Nashville in this car, so I'll be learning. I've only driven the Cup cars there, not the Xfinity cars.
For sure, for sure. Well, again, congratulations on the win. Is there anybody you wanna give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to our race sponsor, Sailor Tarot Magic, sponsoring our race tonight. Yourself and Bradley for doing an awesome job with the broadcast, and everyone putting on a good race. It was a green flag right to the end.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll talk to you guys. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you next week in Nashville.
We'll have to wait and see. Thank you.
All right. Congrats, Keith.
There's your race winner, 36, Keith Mayato, getting it done. Yusuf Ghali, Ben Bafford, your top 3. Let's take you through your finishing order and give you these final results for tonight's race. Sailor Terra Magic 175 at Las Vegas, Mayato, Ghali, Bafford. Then we have Seth Hatchell, Reggie Ortega, Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright, David Schildhouse able to recover into 8th. 9th position, Eric Hutton, and Dallas Sullivan going to round out your top 10.
Yeah, and 11th was Joshua Banks, 12th Brody Hayes, 13th Cody Atkins, 14th Alan Dice, 15th Josiah Vincent, 16th Kyle McGarvey, 17th was Noah Mikulski, 18th Justin Carey, 19th was Zach Smith, and 20th was Timmy Emanuele.
21st position goes to the 00 machine of Kevin McGarvey. AJ Stravado never could get back to that top 5. He's going to bring it home 22nd. Dennis Faircloth, that's the second time I've done this season, 23rd position. Jordan Brockle in the 24th spot. Nick Starling, 25th. Casey Lakatos in 26th. 27th, Jordan Shepler. Lane Salfridge, 28th. Robert Gilmore, 29th. And then 30th will be Mark McFadden.
31st, Joe Romai Vincent. 32nd, Lyle Surfers. 33rd, unfortunately, was Bentley Glazer. 34th was Ryan Gemmel. I believe they may have had some issues during the race that we forgot to cover, but you know what? It's all right. Next
these
week,
guys starting up towards the top 10. That's unfortunate.
yeah, next week we go to the Nashville Super Speedway. That's going to be fun. Going to be wild. And looking at it, it's going to be a day race. So hot and slick, 83 degrees outside is what it's looking like. So should be fun. Should be crazy. But man, what a race tonight. Heck of a job to Keith Mayato for all of the he was able to just kind of withstand everybody. He'd be able to hold off everybody. Great pit strategy, and it's gonna be fun to see what happens. Jeff Wright has extended that points lead, or I think he kept it even. So it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to next week. I got to ask though, what are your closing opinions on tonight here?
Well, to run it completely green at Las Vegas with the handling problems that these guys were having, pushing up on the inside, I think it's an outstanding job, and it speaks a lot to the volumes of talent that is in this league and how these guys conduct themselves. Even with the little things that happen there, the little scuffles with the lap traffic and some of these guys running out of patience, we still kept it green. I think that this season we're approaching the halfway point. It's just now heating up. So I hope you guys can tune in. We'll be back live. VSPEED will go live on Monday, but the next race here at BTDY will be at 8:25 Eastern Time, where we go to Nashville Super Speedway for race number 9 in the BTDY Racing Series events. For myself and Alec Martinez, we thank you for your time here tonight. We hope to see you next week. Take care, everybody, and have a good one.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man with